All right, all you devils out there, happy Friday. Well, here we go. Oh, it's 1:30 for me. I'm just digging through what seems to be, well, a lot of alts. It's kind of some unusual patterns, and we've gotten a little weird with Bitcoin here, as you can see with this volatility. We're awfully indecisive here is what you see as uncertainty. So how does the technician approach this? Well, we can get an Elliott count around it. It's pretty unusual for a wave 2, but given the volatility and all the potential upside, but the fear of downside, this is not terribly surprising. But the chart pattern here is a bit unusual. So let's just go through it here. We're still working off the premise here that per a few revisions of this count, that we're working off of a 4 low here. We can get an impulse in here, but then it just gets extremely weird. We can get the impulse here. We can go an A, B, C into a W. We've got to go use this as our X, and then this is clearly a triangle. But that triangle kind of limits how we might approach this with our Elliott hat on. We can't have a triangle in the second, but we can have a WXY, and we can have a triangle in the Y. So the premise here would be, per this volatility, we've got a truncated E here, which was not uncommon. And then we're coming out of this with a bit of a, it looks like we might have an impulse. If I go to a 15, we might have an impulse here. And then, of course, there's been some bullish news today we'll get to in a second. Come here. All right, so can we get a 1, 2, 3, 4, one more squirt for a 5? Right, might clean some of this up. Of course, we'd want to be mindful of any retracement as to where we're heading. This would be the next key level we would not want to see broken, as that would disrupt this count. We'd have to reconsider. But right now, okay, maybe we got a little 1 squirting out of this unusual price action. Okay, so some bullish information here. So this, is just talking about hitting a previous all-time high. By the way, one thing to note here, the all-time high here is not a break of structure, right? Just duly noted. It's just it's all wicks up here, so we don't get a close above. So, I suppose there are some that will consider a wick a break of structure, but it's not a close above. So, hardcore market structure folks would, I think, concur. We have just wicks, right? This is pretty good wick rejection. So this is a little bit of a hurry up and wait here. I think this is tradable if we get a decent retrace. I'm not expecting this to just launch. But the news here that I was just highlighting here is this, right? The SAB 122. That's pretty big, right? So that's allowing banks to provide custody to Bitcoin, which should be a catalyst here for the next rip here. Now, can we stay within this, or we got another leg here to go for that 5? Here, let's see. Let's get this. Let me redraw that here so we can get on the 4. 2 to the 4. Decent. Right to a 38. We've swept the high here now. So the triangle, valid. Now, it doesn't look like we're quite done there, though, and I'm on a 15-minute. Looks like, okay, can I get one more swing up there? Would give me a lot of more, much greater conviction that we've got this 5th going in here, and then I would be just sitting down here with a glove on saying, bring it down, right? Let me catch that. Now, but when I say that, I don't necessarily mean, let me catch the turn and, pick the knife. But if I were to come down here, let me rephrase this or redraw this. If I'm getting back down here, well, see, I've got an order block probably sitting right here. Oh, I guess we call that a decision block. Oh, we got to sweep some liquidity. Something in that range down here for some good support. Would really like to see that one more kick up. One more, right? Because there's some bearish interpretation of this that's pretty ugly that we don't want to go to unless we need to. This triangle potentially being an a B. So this might be an A. That we can get very bearish here. This could be A, B, and we need a C. It could be A, B. We're going up for a C before we come down. This can get a bit ugly, but we don't need to go there just yet. Let's see how it resolves here. Again, with that bullish news, the general sentiment being very positive for crypto. Let's see how we do here. Again, this is not being a break of structure. A little point of caution. When everybody is bullish, always makes me a little uneasy, right? Rarely does that well, somebody's in for a surprise right now. If we start to sell off, boy, the liquidity, the stop running, the liquidations is going to be severe because everybody is so bullish. So, approach with caution. Right? I know I'm not trying to get you to be bearish. I'm rarely bearish, but just in the near term, you can just look at this and just think, okay, right in the middle of this, I'm on crypto here, so I can't get volume because it's an aggregator. But, somewhere in the middle there, you're going to have your POC. So I would be a bit cautious here. If we push up, now, of course, if we do something, we get a kick here, and then we can come back to retest. Okay, that I'm going to love. But for right now, I'm not in a hurry to do anything. Let's get this to finish. And this is such an unorthodox launch point. I'd want to get some confirmation before I really, lean into this. But right now, that seems to be the bullish alternative that's here, applying Elliott Wave rules and guidelines. It's a bit funky. I will certainly say that. Okay, so that, again, I don't think you need to be in a hurry to do anything here. Let me buzz over to, let me go to Ripple here. I'm going to keep this one relatively short. This one, boy, I have my fingers crossed on this one. Probably my biggest holding amongst all. It's not that should influence anything. I just full disclosure, right? I'm really hoping for $4 here. That would be massive. Because I'm long from so far below. But okay, can we hold here? This is a little bit deeper than you'd like to see in the 4. Could be, it was just liquidation, and we came right to this order block here, right? We got a little toe into that. Now we've gone a double into the golden zone. Let me get to an hour so you can see why this is looking enticing. 1 A B C double. We got 1 2 3 at the golden zone. So with this now is just a channel, but of course I could get this on for a golden corner. Targets up here, so I'd likely push this off a little bit. If this is going to be 1 2, if whatever, we can't say for sure, but if this is going to be 1 2 3, I'm looking for that up here at the 1618 coming right to the median line. Again, right as you know what I'm going to say here. We've got 80% probability we get there, as long as that pivot holds. Right? If that pivot holds, right, that 80% stays in play, I think we're likely headed here. That should be $4. I'm going to take a little profit there, which is why I have this alerted. We're not there yet, right? So this is a little bit of, don't spend it before you get there, before you have it, right? It's, that's a little bull porn, a little wishful thinking, but that's a reasonable target if we're going to hold here. That's a big if at the moment, because this certainly there's an alternate. Let me get that tightened up. There's an alternate count here. The 3 could be in here, and this could be a 2. Okay, well that's potentially more bullish, right? So if we just do it this way, right, we could see an alternate count on the fly here. Okay, well this would be a bit shallow for a 2, but again, market is never obligated to come to these levels, but that would be a little bit thin for what they typically do. Oh shit, I wanted the full on. There we go. All right, so 38. Okay, we came to this little demand block, gave it a little toe reaction. It's been tested. So I wouldn't steer away from this. But just be mindful of the fact that we can't count on it absolutely. We don't know. We don't know that's the 2. Let's get that back here. We don't know that's a 2. Oh, these are probably a little off here, but you get the drift here. We're right on that golden here. Let's pull that back here. So 1 2, fingers crossed. Right, both there's talk of the crypto reserve, and we're going to have an XRP reserve and XRP ETFs. Right, there's a lot of bullish momentum. We have a clear use case rather than a meme coin. We have an actual use case here. So I would be looking for opportunity here to if you're not in, I would tread lightly here because of the potential risk here that this might have to roll over to get a little bit deeper. So I might tiptoe with this a little bit and maybe just a snack, right? Don't go full bore yet. Let this show you. You're not going to miss anything. Let this kick, at least get a decent 5 out of here. Can I get a 5? Maybe on the retrace, looking for that. I love it, right? I'm long as hell, but this, you're pretty... but $3 here, it's kind of struggling with this. It has real potential to be the 4 because we've just, other than this sharp retracement here, now we're just going sideways. And that's very characteristic of a 4, where we're just stop progressing the trend. But I wouldn't be, go balls deep there. Just right, it's not there. that's not quite the let's go for it. That's not a YOLO setup, but right, maybe a nibble. Okay, right. So that's XRP. The other here that I just love, and this came from a member on Wednesday's live stream. We kind of teed this up here. This wasn't quite here to that pivot level for that E. And again, this is a new member who's very skilled. We love to see that. He's given us, if you didn't see the live stream members, you probably caught this. We've got a push up here, a retracement down for the 2, and a push up for the 3 here. So into the complete the 1 wave here, 1, 2, 3, 4, very clear 4 right now. Again, the market is not obligated to hold here. It's just we have a very clear pattern we can identify, right? The odds would favor that increasing. Again, this is not a meme coin. We have a utility case here. Up for the 1, if you want to be very aggressive, you could take some of those earnings, put a bit of risk on for the retrace, as we would anticipate that. We'd have a break of structure. What do we anticipate? After a break of structure is a retrace, and then down here, right at the golden zone, pushing up for the 3. So this is a complete trade plan for CRV that you might take a screenshot, right? Something, right? Get it on, or perhaps just recreate it. The real thing to do when you watch a video like this is not just copy it. Just go, oh, let me bring up CRV on the daily, and you won't remember it. You won't remember. You're not going to know there's a trial in here, but see if you can do it yourself. Right? That's how you get the value add. Right? You see, apply it yourself. See if you can make sense of it. It's not that hard. Sure looks good for a 1, 2, 3, 4 push for the 5. Right, where would we find the resistance? Well, that's going to be the golden zone from the last high, right? So this is, again, a skilled technician. Thanks for this, right? As I've said many times before, some of the best trades I got all last year came from members posting on our live streams, right? When I tell you I'm going to trade them, I do trade them. So this one I am in. I bought into this yesterday as I saw it ping that E, and we got a little reaction. Heads up, looks pretty good. Oh, hang on, I'm going to bring this over. I'm over on AltFins here, and I'm down to their on-chain data. Again, I cannot recommend this site more highly. If you're interested, right, I think they have a trial. Oh yeah, we get a little kicker if you use our link, which is underneath in our link tree. You'll see it under the video here. If you want to support the channel, that's a nice way to do it. I mean, it's not a big hit we get off of this, but every little bit helps. But I'm over here on market cap to total revenue. We want a low ratio here, and I just noticed that on total revenue, JTO is very high here, but they're in the one of the first 2 low. You want the lower the ratio, the better here, because it implies that it's undervalued. And it was showing up in several of these, so I wanted to look at that. To be perfectly honest with you, I had to look up what it was. I was not familiar with it. So I had to bring it right over here. I went over to CoinMarketCap and said, well, JTO, I had never heard of it. Just in summary, it's designed to support the Solana ecosystem by providing tools for liquid staking and MEV extraction. Okay, maximum extractable value is MEV. You can look at some similar coins here. We all of which we've looked at. I think Jupiter and Ondo and Lido, we've all looked at these before. Read through if you want to get familiar with what it is. Let me pull that off of here now. But again, that's why you look here. So if I bring it over here, I go, okay, well, how's it look? I've got it over here on Coinbase. It's a little choppy on the ride up, although we'd call that 5 swings. Now the next question is it technical, right? So here is Al involved, right? So if I bring this down here from this first one, I don't know how that could be more precise. We literally pulled down, swing up 50 to the tick, hit the target to the tick. So yeah, Al's here, right? So that's encouraging, right? We know muscle is here. Now, is this 1, 2? 1 ABC? I don't know how it could be any more clear than that. Let's see. So this is already hit, so we can get that off there. Right? That's just what you're really trying to do is determine who's in here. Is muscle or is this just all retail? Right. So we didn't sweep this, so that's sitting there, waiting to be swept. This little double, right? We can call them equal highs. Let's go down to a 4. See how this looks. It's not gorgeous, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can get it there. Extension in the 5th. Looks like we've got an A, B, could be in, could be. I'd be watching this here. You've got imbalances down below. But of course, next thing I'm going to do, a little front run. You can understand what we've got. This is likely a demand block here, right? We're kind of bumping into that. It's a 4. Let's go to a 1. I don't love it, right? It just, if I'm picking it apart, right? So part of what you're doing with technical analysis is trying to be critical of it. You don't want to just, oh, fuck, it looks good, let's buy it. Okay, pick it apart. How much do you love it? And if you love it and it's clean, you went down to a 60-minute or down to a 15 even. If it's that clean, do you like, that to me, right? I'm not going to call that 4, 5 or 1, 2. I've bottomed down here. So what I want to see is what happens next. Do I have a clean launch off of that? Well, that's a little bumpy. Right, now 15, right? I rarely go down here, but 1, 2, 3, W, X, Y, 1, 2, or I don't love it. So I would just be cautiously kind of watching here. We're in log scale. That's a little. With this little break, that implies to me that we're likely to break the other side, because the first break, right, that's retail bait, right? So that implies we're likely to that we overshoot here, which would put it right into the golden zone. So I love it down here, right? I might take a little bite down here, but not the full piece here, because if it's going to fall lower here, we got another order block down here. We might go to the 707, all this prior support. I don't want to take that all the way. I want to take a little bite here. If it rolls over here, I want a little more here. Now, when do we get confirmation that the low is in? Well, we've got to sweep one of these highs, which we have not done yet. Do you see that? Right, it's lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, low. Right, now we're going to hold here and get a higher low. Don't fill it in your mind's eye. Let it show you. So that's not a 1, 2. I mean, I'd like it down here. So you got two choices. If we come down here and we get a bounce, well, if you want to be more conservative, I'd want to see it sweep that. Unless I get another pivot in here, which would look something like, let's just go to this, right? So if I come down here, I get a little pivot here, and then I come down here. Well, now one of these pivots has to be swept to confirm the low. Or you're just guessing, right? You're just trying to pick the turn without any validation, right? There's no confirmation the low is in. How would you know? You might have thought this was the low, this was the low, this was the low. You can't confirm it because we haven't swept. I'm on a 15-minute. We haven't swept any of the highs, right? So the trend is still down. So don't try and pick the turn. Wait for the evidence, right? If you're trying to buy it too soon, you're just doing it out of FOMO. Oh shit! It looked like it was going to go. I didn't want to miss it, right? This can just keep going. Yeah, I've seen this happen, right? We do it again. Oh, didn't get it. Oh, no, didn't get it, right? We can just keep going, right? That's why you have to wait. Traders don't like to wait, right? They're impatient, right? They think, let's get it. What you're leaving on the table, were it to launch here, is so less significant than the losses you'll take trying to pick the turn. So just don't do it. There's no reason to, other than inexperience. Okay, right? So one to keep an eye on here, JTO. Interesting, right? But definitely potential for this to be undervalued. Okay, Cardano, we looked at this on the live stream as well. This is, same kind of thing. It's a lot of crypto is just kind of stalled here. All that bullish momentum. Oh my God, we've got the most crypto-friendly administration in history. Yes. Okay, so why aren't we launching? Reasonable question. Why aren't we, to a new all-time high? Why aren't we at $2-3? I'll let you answer that for yourself. All right, but right now, as I look at this, what's your advantage here? Yes, I have an impulse, but I have an ABC here that this could easily turn into some sort of a combination. The idea that I've gone 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Makes me a little uncomfortable, right? So many 1, 2s. You could see the potential for this to be a W, X, Y. Maybe that's 1, 2. This is overly optimistic, perhaps. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? Meaning all of those need to complete and resolve as in their 5 waves. I'm not, don't want to discourage anyone trading it. I just be prepared that because this is not really doing what you would anticipate if this is going to be a shallow 2. Where do we anticipate the 2? Much lower. well, let's see, how can we do this? So you can potentially, you've got a W. It could be here, right? We could be coming down here. This is a little tricky, right? Because you've got this triple up here. Edge of value, right? So again, don't forget to put the volume profile on, right? It gives you so much information without it that you don't get, right? Where's value? Where's agreement? Where's the POC? What happens when we come below value, right? We snap right back. We get above value, we snap right back. I'm drawing that from down here, or pardon me, from this 2 for this, right? I'm drawing, that's what that's tied to. We come down here, well, hello. Nothing to do here. You have no edge yet. Don't force it. I mean, this could turn into a triangle. Shit, this could get a bit funky. Could be, right? But that doesn't make sense, right? What we wouldn't want we're not going to have a triangle here. But again, it's back to Bitcoin. Oh, am I having to do some sort of a WXY into the triangle? Here it is. It was right next to it. Okay, so this is the corrected version, right? After that prior version, it just kind of broke down. What we were looking for there with that AB. Oh shit! Now I'm on the other side. Oh, where'd you go? What we were looking at before, it didn't fly, right? We were looking for this to be an A, for this X to be in, then for an A, B, C. But with this price action here, we don't get that now. You know, it's not out of the realm of possibility. But if we look over here now and kind of approach this based on the idea that we've got a complete impulse here. So we are approaching this on the premise that now the low is in. Right? So we've gone A, B, C into a B, and then we finish with this 5 to give us the C. So it's A, B, C. Now coming up here, again, this has gotten a little weird, right? We didn't launch like you would anticipate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that confirms the impulse. So A, B, C here, I'm on a 3. Let's go down to a 1 here. Right, so A, B, C into to a shallow 2. Well, now this is where this is a little bit surprising, right? With all the bullish enthusiasm we have. What happened there? Right, are we doing this? Now, you know, we've got options expiration today, and there's a lot of on hold right now. This looks to me like all we've done is complete a 1 for the third. Rather than 1, 2, 3, that's not likely to be 3. Now, keyword being likely. Oh, let's pull up here. Right, so we're just tapping into this. We've blown through all of the algo resistance here. So Al is blown out on this side, but he'll be down there waiting. So if this is 1, 2, and we have completed here with this slight truncation in the 5th, which is a little bit odd. And that's all the more reason why it's very low probability that would be some sort of a 3, to have a truncation in the 5th of the 3rd, extremely low probability. So I have some conviction here. I also don't want to do this, right? That would be your next thought, because the 2 relative to the 4, it's the time balance is not there. So that looks to me like we completed something here, even though it's a slight truncation, which would make more sense as the 1. So this would go up a degree. Let's go to sub here, and let's get in another 1, looking for the 2. And we'll take that one down to micro. Oh, what do we got? Not gonna green on there. Okay, so we're trying to put in a 2 here. You can see the demand block down here, right as we sit here. Draw it over, right? What's right there? A little high volume node right at the golden zone. So we're going to come back down here. There's some gaps on the RTH gaps likely to get filled with any kind of weakness, right? There's obvious targets if you look at this on RTH. I've got extended trading hours here, but if you look on the RTH only, we've got some big gaps that were created earlier in the week. Those are likely to get filled. They rarely just leave them unfilled. So anticipate perhaps a little more softness early part of next week. Let's fill those gaps, and then we're off to again for the 3rd, looking for another impulse to come out of here. I think that's all I have today. I keep it short and sweet today. All right, I think that'll do it. So, you know, everybody's so bullish. You can feel it, right? It feels a little bit, everybody's on one side of the boat. Let's rebalance that out a little bit. So just a suggestion, just a word of caution, right? Again, it's everybody think, oh, it's different this time. The one thing I can absolutely promise you is that's a non-existing event. It's never different this time. I'm not saying to be bearish. I'm not saying we're not going to new highs. I'm not with regards to whether we're looking at NQ or NASDAQ. I'm just saying for a retracement here to take some of the steam out of this would be very normal and healthy for the market. Remember, a retracement of a modest amount, right, is good for the trend, right? Not bad, right? It's when they overextend that things can get ugly. Okay, some suggestions there for you as always, right? If you're interested in developing some skill set with our methodology, which is very consistent, if you're interested in that, right, you can always join us. Come into our Discord for free. Well, we've got the belt system available to you, or just some low-cost entries to get involved, to come in, get involved with my team. As I said, these guys are all very, very skilled Elliotticians. A lot of the members are very skilled as well, and that's where we get some great ideas. So it's a great way to exchange ideas with other people that have like-minded TA approaches to the market, and interact with some members and ask them, right, how their experience has been. I always tell people, never take our word for it. Ask the members how they doing. Okay, guys, with that, have a good weekend. I'll be back next Wednesday for another live stream, and we'll catch you then.